Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So North Carolina Republicans have been getting a lot of things done lately. They've been very productive, and this has all come after one Democrat representative flipped from Democrat to Republican, giving them a supermajority and giving them total control over the state. They can override Democrat Governor Roy Cooper's vetoes, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. But now they're actually getting things done, and the left is not happy about that. New York Times article right here. Republicans are running wild in my state. They've taken control. They're trying to terraform the state. They're trying to make sure that it does not go into the hands of the left. They are redrawing the maps. They are reinstituting election legislation like voter ID. And as a result, they are going out there and they are making sure that this state does not flip into Democrat hands for as long as it possibly can. Now, North Carolina is a little bit of a weird state compared to some others. It definitely has grown a lot, but ever since 2008, it hasn't really moved a ridiculous amount to the left. And if you compare it to the national environment, the past couple election cycles, it's trended right, and Republicans did very well there in the midterms. It likely goes red again. However, in terms of molding it into a culturally Republican stronghold, kind of like what we've seen in some other states like Florida, like Texas, where Republicans have done everything they can to be competent in terms of their turnout operation and actually pass through substantive legislation, it appears like North Carolina could be on the verge for something very great. And we're going to cover that in this video. We're going to cover what they've done, what they've been doing, and what they likely will do, and what they need to do. And we'll touch base on the 2024 gubernatorial election as well in the state. But first, I have to tell you guys about our very good friends over at Noble Gold. Did you know that Bank of America is saying gold will go to $2,200 this year? That's an all-time high. Invest in a gold IRA with Noble Gold Investments today and take advantage of this rare opportunity to secure your retirement savings. With the experts at Noble Gold Investments, you can ride the wave of gold's historic rise to financial security. This month, they're offering a solid silver 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with every qualifying precious metals IRA or 401k rollover. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. Secure your wealth today at noblegoldinvestments.com. Again, that is noblegoldinvestments.com, or click the link in the description or the pinned comment down below. So Democrats are not happy with what is going on in North Carolina, and that means that Republicans are actually doing something right. And we saw this. This article goes on to talk about how there are all of these registrations and Republicans don't even technically have a majority in the state, but there are like a lot of nonpartisan affiliated voters that typically vote Republican, a lot of right-leaning independents that really are not that movable. A lot of them do like Donald Trump. Donald Trump will likely be the nominee in 2024. He's likely going to win the state of North Carolina, probably by around 2 points or more. And that much is true. His pick candidate, who was very solid on the issues, Ted Budd, he was outspent vastly, and he still won by 3 to 4 percentage points in the midterms. And it does seem as if, unlike other states, the Republican Party is extremely competent, and they know how to win more so than Republicans in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, obviously in Michigan, and a lot of other close states. And as a result, that's why it went red in 2020. But still, they have a Democrat governor because down ballot, they typically do like to split their tickets, which again could be an issue in 2024. And not necessarily for Mark Robinson being like an uneluctable candidate like a lot of people say, but because whoever the Republicans put up there in 2024, which we'll talk about that in a minute here, but it definitely is something that you're not going to be an instant favorite, or you can't just expect to win because the top of the ticket wins. That doesn't mean Republicans can't win it, but still, they'd be more likely to win it now because of what you're seeing in the state, the terraforming, the election legislation. And you saw the map there. In 2022, Republicans winning the House popular vote by a decent amount, but still only taking half the seats. And a lot of other states have extremely partisan maps there, very gerrymandered, like Illinois, Maryland, etc., plenty in the Northeast as well. And that's fine. that gets glossed over. But the North Carolina court threw out the map that they did to kind of counteract what was going on in places like Illinois. But what happened was that the state Supreme Court, which now is flipped to the Republican hands, they threw out the map. And now that's going to change because you now have the state legislature lobbying for a stronger map, and then you have the Supreme Court on our side now. So what we do know is that you're likely going to see a map change. And now Republicans in the state legislature have a lot more power, and they basically can run the state. You have the inmates running the prison essentially, but that's a very good thing in the state of North Carolina, and the left is crying about it. They don't say anything about Illinois or New York. They don't actually care about partisan gerrymandered maps. No, it's obviously not about that, and we know that. And they have really bad geography in the state of North Carolina anyway. So they're the ones drawing the maps 50-50, and they're actually making the maps look awful in the same process. And that's an issue. And what we do know is that Republicans also are going to change the state legislative maps as well to their advantage and get more competent conservatives in power. And they're not happy about that. They're not. And they're crying about how they're not really any less extreme than the Tennessee Republicans or the Texas Republicans. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really like the benchmark you want to use. But either way, you look at what's going on in the House. They're getting a lot of things done. They already relaxed restrictions on firearms. They are banning CRT. Of course, they're going to spin it with their other leftist language, whatever, doesn't matter. And then they went on and passed a transgender sports bill. And then they passed another bill to ban genital mutilation of minors. And now they've also taken initiative to lower the amount of weeks or lower the window from 20 to 12 for abortion as well. So they're using power to their advantage in the state. And these are things that are common sense and likely approved on by and large. And Democrats are going to have a tough time. And if it becomes more Republicans are going to want to move to North Carolina the same way they're moving to Florida. A lot of Republicans in Michigan have been moving to Florida. They've also been moving to North Carolina as well. And they very well could have a star governor soon in Mark Robinson, who is awesome by and large. And he's going to be an instant star and fan favorite, not just in the Republican Party, because that he already is, but he's also somebody that has a unique ability to appeal to independent voters and other voters. He actually outperformed Donald Trump in 2020. He has already won statewide. A lot of the candidates that the Republican establishment types like to point to that fell short in 2022, they've never won statewide before. They've never really had a high approval rating like Mark Robinson does, and he is that incumbent lieutenant governor there. And that's no guarantee he'd win statewide in a governor's election, but what we do know is he was outspent ridiculously. He still outperformed Trump by a few points. And even though he is a hardliner and has controversial views, a lot of that was already known. And he still outperformed him. And even then, he doesn't go out there and focus on issues that don't matter. He goes out there and he talks about the important issues. He talks about his life story. And he focuses on delivering results to the people of North Carolina. You could watch any ad of his. You could see any speech of his. And even when he's expressing a position that's like a super partisan position, he does it in his baritone voice. It's very hard to not like Mark Robinson. And as a result, there's a very good chance he's going to be governor of North Carolina as well. And he definitely would go out there and instantly mold the state to be a lot more conservative than it even is right now, which again, it has moved a little bit to the right over the past, 10 years. And down ballot, the races have gotten a lot more Republican since like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Top of the ticket has gotten closer. Polarization is kicking in, that we know. But still, if you have that bold leader who can go out there and have this supermajority state legislature to his advantage, he's going to go out there and go scorched earth, and it's going to be awesome. And Mark Robinson is going to be the instant favorite for Republicans in the 2028 presidential election. And that we know, assuming he wins. They have it as lean D right now, we know that, but even in some polling, and again, we're very far out, but still, he's been leading some of these early polls against Josh Stein. He already has his foot in the door. And if you look at the primary polls, he's up big time. And there were some others in the mix as well that had him close to 70, I believe, that are not shown here, which means he's not going to have a competitive primary whatsoever. And that was a major problem back in the day. But the North Carolina Republican Party, unlike some other states, they are team players. They will do everything they can to help their nominees. Mark Robinson is an established figure in the party. He's a likable guy, and he has really good messaging. So from that alone, it seems like he could be the governor. And if he is the governor, if he gets the nomination and he goes out there and defeats Josh Stein, who, again, vastly outspent his opponent to barely win in 2020, kind of the opposite from what we saw of Mark Robinson. He likely is going to end up being the nominee for the Democrats. He's already gotten a slew of endorsements. He's not even doing that well in the primary, though, but that was kind of an old poll. But it is possible that they could have a more divisive primary, which is not a good thing for the Democrats. They didn't have that problem at all in 2022. And he's kind of just generic. He's going to attack Robinson on the things that he says or has said in the past, which Robinson's already been known for that, which again, that stuff's already been out there. And then Robinson's going to go out there and he is going to talk about the issues that matter and focus on things that your average voter in the state of North Carolina cares about. Then at that point, maybe it's possible Stein goes down, Robinson wins. And as a result, Republicans are going to go out there and they're going to have another large state that is going to be a conservative cultural center. Democrats kind of terraform states like Minnesota, and now they're going to do it to Michigan. Well, we got to do the same thing back. And having that one Democrat switch to the Republicans, and then a lot of people, including myself, were like, okay, how's she going to vote? Because she had a liberal voting record before. She's been voting very conservative. She constantly had a pro-abortion pass. She voted for the abortion restriction legislation that lowered the threshold or the window from 20 to 12 weeks. So she's voting the way she should be voting. Is she a grifter? I don't even care, because it's helping North Carolina become a more Republican state, and the left is melting down, and that's a very good thing. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.